Darkrai has returned to raids in Pokemon Go, and yet, we still haven't seen its signature move, Dark Void, come to the game. Now Darkrai is a really cool Pokemon, but in 2023, it's nowhere near as exciting of a Pokemon as it was years back. Back in 2020, when it was a more solid choice for both Master League and raids, we saw Dark Void data mined prior to the Halloween event that year. But now we've gone 4 whole Halloween events without Dark Void Darkrai. Well, now I'm taking matters into my own hands and talking about how this move could look and go, and how it could eventually improve Darkrai. So let's talk about it. Welcome back, everyone. Dark Void Darkrai has long been anticipated, especially when the move was added to the game's data over 3 years ago. With it being added in early October of 2020, most expected it to debut with Darkrai that Halloween, but nope. Well then next year for sure, right? Nope. In 2021, Darkrai did get a new move, but it was only Sludge Bomb, and in 2022, there weren't any Darkrai raids in October, just Giratina. So in 2023, I was pretty confident that we'd not only see Darkrai's return, but also Dark Void, but I was wrong. I'm honestly not sure when we'll see this move, but I'm tired of waiting, so let's see how this move could improve Darkrai. We don't have the stats for the move yet, but I'm going to make my own predictions, and we'll see how close I am whenever the move finally arrives. So we're going to start off with the move in raids. As of now, Darkrai is a good raid attacker, but it's certainly fallen by the wayside over time. Despite being a pure Dark type, Darkrai typically doesn't want a mono Dark moveset of Snarl and Dark Pulse, mostly because Dark Pulse is a pretty mediocre move for raids. Instead, it would use Snarl alongside Shadow Ball for a very solid attacking moveset against Ghost or Psychic type bosses. Darkrai was one of the top counters for a while, but with the introduction of Shadow Pokemon, Mega Evolutions, and new moves like Brutal Swing, Darkrai no longer holds top tier status. But I think Dark Void can fix that. Not only will this move have the potential to be a strong move for raids, but being a Dark type move means it can get the same type attack bonus. Now there are many different placements that Dark Void could take. We could go for a much stronger and quick 1-bar move like Fusion Bolt, Shadow Force, or Glaciate, a higher damage 2-bar move like Psystrike or Frenzy Plant, or a weaker but still quick 3-bar move to allow for high flexibility like Brutal Swing or Magma Storm. Obviously there's good and bad versions of 1, 2, and 3-bar moves, but I think with Dark Void being a non-damaging move in the main series, we should opt for a lower damage 3-bar move. However, somewhat similar to Breaking Swipe on Rayquaza, this move would be redeemed by a much quicker cooldown time, allowing Darkrai to spam this move a lot. So with 55 power, 33 energy, and a really speedy duration, Darkrai would shoot up in viability. I certainly could have gone further with this move, perhaps making it a clone of Brutal Swing or Glaciate, but I think this placement is a reasonable, but still really good one. Compared to other counters, I simmed this Dark Void Darkrai against Mewtwo, and it becomes the top non-Shadow, non-Mega attacker. There are some like Shadow and Mega Tyranitar, Shadow Chandelure, and Mega Gengar who can surpass it, depending on the boss and its moveset, but overall, this would catapult Darkrai to top tier status, which would be pretty nice to see. Moving on to the PvP side of things though, and Darkrai has definitely fallen off a bit in the Master League. It worked well in the past, but with the rise of Zacian and now Xerneas, it definitely struggles a bit. It can really hit hard, but I think Darkrai could use something a bit cheaper, seeing that its cheapest moves are still 50 energy. Snarl does help with that, but I think something with a little less energy would help it get damage out faster and have more shield baiting potential. As such, I've placed the move at 45 energy with 55 power, along with a 100% chance to decrease the opponent's attack and defense by 1 stage. Now this move would be incredibly good, being a bit lacking in power, but making up for that with the stat debuffs to your opponent, sort of replicating the sleep effect it has in the main series. And while Darkrai itself would remain pretty frail compared to the many bigger Master League Pokemon, the debuffs would help it pull ahead in many matchups, especially if you successfully bait a shield with it. But even when you lose with Darkrai, you can still put your opponent in a disadvantaged state with its attack and defense debuffed. I wanted Darkrai to be able to get a move out quicker, but also play around its frailness. But to avoid making it too good, I did make the move 45 energy, seeing that Snarl lets it get to the move pretty fast. and I think 55 power is reasonable for a move that debuffs the opponent's attack and defense 100% of the time. I do also think this would open up the ability for Darkrai to run Dark Void alongside Shadow Ball, rather than the more expensive Focus Blast. That move provides great coverage, but with debuffs to the opponent's defense, I think Shadow Ball would be able to handle steel types like Dialga and Melmetal pretty well, while also giving you something strong to use on Zacian and Xerneas. Overall, I think this move would give Darkrai a lot more play in the Master League, albeit not something that would be top tier, more like Rayquaza, who is very good, but is still a glassy Pokemon. Now though, I'm turning it over to you. Are you pleased with our placement of Dark Void, or do you hope Niantic does something a bit different with the move? Let us know down in the comments below, and if you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Until next time though, thank you all so much for watching, and happy Halloween!